WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station.
And we're back here, WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station. We're all talking Temple basketball. They'll play Friday coming up in Dayton, Ohio, as they get set on take NC State. But we'll turn the page for a little bit and get into some Temple football right now as they open up camp on Friday. And we're now joined by the head football coach of the Temple Owls, and that's Matt Rhule. Matt, it is Zach Gelb and Haley Condon. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, guys.
Well, I understand that you have a baby girl just born into the household, so we did get you a little baby present, and we didn't forget about Brian either. We got him a nice book and a little bit of a car, and we got it's Vivian, correct? That's the baby girl's name.
Yeah.
We got her a nice little Under Armour football shirt and some pants as well. So congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But I'll tell you this, it must be tough. You have a football team to prepare for now, and you're getting ready to open up your first camp, and you have to deal with the new baby girl at home screaming at night. You must not be getting too much sleep.
Well, they're still actually up in northern New Jersey. So till my son finishes school this year, we didn't want to. We pulled him out last year. Didn't want to. So I see her like once a week right now, which is absolutely painful. But it's part of the deal, and we. We're excited about football season to start, and so we'll just kind of make it day by day.
This is not your first go-around with the Temple program. You were assistant coach under Al Golden and as well as Steve Addazio, but now you are the head man in charge, and this is your camp that gets opened up on Friday. Give me some of the motions. What can we expect from this camp that opens up on Friday?
I think the biggest thing that I want to do is really try to establish how we want to play, and the biggest thing I can tell you is, after my year with Coach Koff and my year in New York, I have a kind of a different perspective on football, and I'm trying to get that across to our guys because, our guys sometimes they'll say like work hard, hey, let's work hard. I try to tell them everybody works hard. You guys work hard, I work hard, every student here works hard. Football's a game and it's about winning. It's about winning every route, winning every play. So just trying to get that competitive spirit, that competitive vibe, that intensity that we really need to have a good team. So I have to get that across to them, and really this will be the first time where we can actually compete and get that going.
A lot of players in the Giants told me if you were 5 minutes early, you're on time. Do you have that kind of situation going on with your football team right now?
Coach Coughlin actually sets the clocks back 5 minutes. I don't, but I have the same exact policy. Late is late. 5 seconds, 5 minutes. So if we start at 11, we start at 11. Not 11:01. There's no excuse. There's no reason to be late. The coaches are never late, so we hold them to a high standard that way.
When the country looks at Temple football, what does Matt Rhule want Temple football to represent?
Well, I want us to play at an unbelievably high level. I mean, it doesn't. There's a lot of things in football that require no talent. And it's how well you play. Not in terms of your talent, but how well you do the things we're asking you to do. How often you do them. How hard you play, how physical you are. I want people to turn us on and be excited by the way we play, by the way we fly around. I mean, there's a lot of former Temple football players that played under Al and Steve, and in the eras before that want to see us play that way. The students want to see us play that way, and I want to have an exciting brand of football. I mean, I want students to want to get there early and not miss the first series because they don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to play. So I think we'll always have that kind of brand of toughness and physical play that kind of matches Philadelphia, matches Temple, but at the same time, I want to be exciting. I want to be dynamic as best we can. So.
And you always hear the words Temple tough, and that's what people want the football program to represent. And Steve tried to do that here, running the football and doing all that kind of stuff with the heavy linebacker play. But this team has already had to overcome a lot of adversity already with the whole conference changes. How did your team handle the news of that you're going to the Big East and now you're kind of not?
I didn't even really discuss it with them because, and maybe that's a weakness on my part. But, I first came to Temple, we didn't even have a conference. We were begging to get in the MAC and got in the MAC. And so as I look at it, things get better and better every year. And the only thing we probably need to, in my opinion, the guys in our building, there's other people that need to worry about conferences. That what we have to worry about in our building is how good of a team we have. Because, we were in the Big East last year and we went 4-7. So, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. No one wants to go 4-7, So I'm so focused right now on trying to build the team and build the future and get us to play at a really high level because our students, our fans, they want to come watch us win. They don't want to come watch us try hard or play okay. They want to come watch us win. So that's really our only focus.
Matt Rhule, the head football coach of the Temple Owls, joins us in studio. WHIP, Philly's #1 college radio station. Zach Gelb and Haley Condon here with you. And, Coach, last year the QB position was you had some vacillation going on between Chris Coyer and as well as you had Juice Granger. And now P.J. Walker, you get him in, the recruit from Elizabeth, and he was on this show a few weeks ago. Bright kid. He wants wants to win. Is this an open QB battle?
Absolutely. I mean, you win in football based upon your quarterback play, and that at all levels. I mean, you have to have a quarterback to be able to win, and so the guys going into the spring right now, they're battling it out each and every day, and it's an open competition, and it'll be an open competition until PJ has a chance in the fall. So no matter how these guys do in the spring, they'll establish their position going into the fall, and then they'll have to win the job in camp.
How'd you win over P.J. Walker? Because that was a big-time recruit that you guys landed at the quarterback position. He provides a threat not only with his arm, but as his legs as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing about P.J. was he was already sold on Temple. He came down on his official visit, met our players, and loved our players. Got on campus, loved the campus, loved everything that Temple University itself has to offer. Francis Brown, one of our young coaches, he stayed on. I promoted Francis, and he just did a tremendous job kind of bridging the gap till I could get to know PJ. And then I think the biggest thing was, PJ sees the Giants. He sees what they do in the passing game. He sees that it maybe relates to his skill set, and so could feel comfortable football-wise what we were going to do. So it was going to be the same school, the same people, all the things he had fallen in love with. Maybe we were just going to throw the ball a little bit more now. So.
When he told me, what won him over was when you sat him down and you said you could be the first quarterback to put a trophy in that trophy case, and he said, I really believe I could be that kind of quarterback. How much pressure now is on you and PJ to back up that talk and get that trophy here to Temple?
Well, I mean, I don't look at it as talk. I look at it as it's my passion. It's what I do. I mean, I went to Penn State University, and every day I walked in the building at Penn State as a very average football player, but every day I walked in, and I would walk through the Hall of Fame, and you'd walk by the Heisman Trophy, then I'd walk by the National Championship, then I'd walk by all the Penn State scholar athletes, and I knew no matter how great of a player I was, I could never be the first one to do something there. Everything had already been done. You were always just going to repeat the tradition. And the beautiful thing here is you walk in our building, we do have some unbelievable things. We have some unbelievable individual awards people have done. We've had great players here, but there is no championship trophy that you can point to. And I think all of our players, that should be what they're chasing. That's what I'm chasing. That's what keeps me up at night and gets me up early in the morning, and all of our coaches. So, that's really why we do what we do. And at the same time, I want that to be our players, why they play. I mean, they don't play to be popular on campus. They don't play so people know who they are. They should play because they really want to win, and I feel that from PJ.
Temple over the years have produced a plethora of good running backs. Bernard Pierce just won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. You had Montel Harris. He'll be in the draft this year. Matt Brown's trying to make it in the league as a kick returner, stuff like that. And you also are losing Martin Wallace, an offensive lineman this year. He's trying to get in the NFL draft as well. Give me the state of this team right now running the football.
Well, it's a complete unknown. I mean, the last time I was a coach on this staff was – we played Wyoming in the New Mexico Bowl. All 5 of those linemen are now gone, and most of them have either been in pro football or some way been in a camp or made a team. So we're really kind of looking at starting from scratch and building from the beginning. There's a couple guys there, Scott Rohr to Jeff Whittingham, who played a little bit last year. They started a couple games last year, but between the offensive line and then the running back position, they're all complete unknowns. And so, we'll enter at the running back position. We'll enter in the spring with 3 or 4 guys getting an opportunity, as well as Zaire Williams and Jihad Thomas coming in the fall. They'll get every opportunity to play as well, because I do believe that the running back position is one position where you can play as a young player. You can play as a freshman. Bernard did it. Matt Brown did it. I think the one thing that goes unnoticed is our running back coach, Tyree Foreman. I mean, he got Bernard ready to play as a freshman. We moved Matt Brown week 5. Week 6, week 8, he had 125 yards against Kent State. Tyree got him ready to play. He got Montel Harris this year ready to play, on 1 year. So Tyree's always been able to get players to play early. So we'll find a running back, and even if it's a running back by committee, which is really kind of the state of pro football these days. You look at the Chargers. I mean, you look at the Saints. They're going to use Sproles, and they're going to put Ingram in. Then so they're going to utilize guys based upon their skill set. So we'll figure that out. The offensive line is probably our biggest question right now.
And you've seen that over the years, and we talked about it. Muhammad Wilkerson, you had Tahir Whitehead, Rod Streeter's in the NFL, Bernard Pierce as well. There's so many guys that have made it in the NFL. When you sit down with the recruit and said, hey, look at some of the guys that we got into the NFL, and now look at what they're doing. They're being big forces on the team. How important is that when going over with a recruit?
It's unbelievably important, because everybody that comes to play college football should want to go play in the NFL. I mean, it's your skill set, and it's the ultimate level, so why wouldn't you want to play there? So you need to go somewhere where they're going to develop you. And we have a history and a tradition of developing players. And so, recruiting sometimes is really difficult. People look at, this guy has this many stars, this guy did this in high school. And a great recruiter really looks at a kid at the age of 18 and says, this is where I think he's going to be at 21, 22 if he works hard. And then when they get there, you got to develop the heck out of them. You got to push them. You got to prod them. You got to, when they want to go to the sack and eat Taco Bell, you got to make them go to Johnson or Harwick and eat 2 meals, even though they think you're a jerk. So you have to do those things to get them to be where they could end up being in the end. And we've done that, and I think a lot of recruits saw that and saw Bernard and Rod and Muhammad and Jake and said, you know what, these guys know what they're doing, getting guys that level.
The strong point of this team last year, as Matt Rhule, head football coach of the Temple Owls, joins us in studio, was the linebacking play. And you see Tyler Medikevich, a guy that you were recruiting afterwards, and you got him in. He was outstanding last year. Nate D. Smith came out of nowhere and had a phenomenal season as a redshirt freshman. And most people don't think you could improve this linebacking core, but you did. You got Buddy Brown. Talk a little bit about Buddy.
Well, Buddy's really a talented player, and Buddy's a guy that's tall and rangy, and he could even possibly play safety. I mean, he's got that kind of skill set to run, and so I think the thing that we're looking for is we're looking for competition. Sometimes guys have a great freshman year and then they can be complacent the next year, and great programs are built when if you take a day off, someone can take your job. And so that's what we're trying to get done right now. We brought Jared Alwan in from Camden Catholic, who was really an outstanding player, and so those young linebackers coming in. We have some other linebackers in the program. I'll tell you, Nate and Tyler have had a good, off season. But one I'm really excited about is this kid, Rob Dvoracek, who played last year some, and I see him as a really hungry guy. I think he'll have a really good spring. So I think with all that competition, eventually the cream will rise to the top.
And a lot of recruits that you signed came from that New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, and that area is even going to be tougher for you to recruit now with Rutgers going to the Big Ten. How important is it to keep on winning over that area and getting players from New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I think you always want to have guys from within 3 or 4 hours coming to Temple. And so this was the first year we were able to go to Western Pennsylvania and get some kids from Western PA to come across the state. So, whether it's New Jersey, even into New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, we want it to be local. We want people to play in front of their families. We want people to be able to go home on the weekends and still have an unbelievable college experience. So, to me, it's a matter of kind of building a book of business. I recruited Pennsylvania for a long time. I know most high school coaches here, and try to deal honestly and fairly with them so that they feel comfortable with us. And I think they'll find that from our staff. So New Jersey, Pennsylvania are kind of they're our recruiting area. They're like the state of Temple, if you would say, and we're gonna always major there first and then move from there.
And the state of geography in NCAA sports as we knew it, like with the Big East where you had basketball years ago and football, it's over. Yeah. It doesn't exist like that anymore. So you're gonna have to go into Houston next year and win over a kid there. What would be your sales pitch to a kid in Houston to say, hey, get out of there and come over to Philadelphia?
Well, I think Temple University offers unbelievable opportunities for people no matter where you're from. And I look at it in terms of as a football player, you have a chance to come to a place where they'll develop you, where you can win championships and play in the 4th largest media market in the country. You can gain exposure with passionate fans and passionate students. School-wise, you have an opportunity to come. There's 281,000 Temple alumni worldwide, and that's really, as you guys know and we all know. I mean, life's not about always what you know; it's who you know. And you have a chance to join an unbelievable alumni network, and at the same time, going to college in the city, especially as a football player, we're here year-round. We don't go home for the summer. If you want to get internships and make inroads and build your future, how do you do that when you go to a rural campus or somewhere in the middle of nowhere? You can't. You have to wait till you're done. Here, you have an opportunity to jump on the train and be downtown and work at Solomon Smith Barney or Merrill Lynch or GlaxoSmithKline and build your future while at the same time coming back at 6 a.m. and working out every morning. So there's a unique opportunity here at Temple that we sell to people and they buy.
That's a big selling point, too, because, hey, let's face it, not every kid's going to make it to the NFL. And you look at a kid like Abdul Smith and some of your other cornerbacks, they've expressed interest of actually doing interviews with us. We had Abdul in studio here, and those internships in Philadelphia with the radio stations like a WIP or the Fanatic, it's clutch. That's actually a great point that you bring up. But getting back to this defense, the secondary last year, you saw a lot of teams, whether it was McGloin or Bridgewater or et cetera, they were able to come in here and throw the football on you guys last year easily. It looks like you're getting a better pass rush this year. You were thin at defensive line when you lost Johnson and Cutts this last year to off-the-field problems. But how do you plan to improve that secondary?
It's a great question. I think it starts with the pass rush, to be quite honest. And so that's there's guys on our team that could be great pass rushers that haven't over their career so far. Guys like Sean Daniels. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Sean to be a dominant player because when we had great defenses here, we had guys like Junior Gillette and Adrian Robinson and Muhammad Wilkerson that had 17, 24 sacks in their career. So it'll start there. And at the same time, we're changing our philosophy defensively. I mean, we're going to play. We're going to be more of a quarters coverage team, not quite as much. Last year we were mainly straight man, and we tried to hold up man to man against people, and eventually caught up to us at times. So it's a defensive change, a defensive philosophy change, and we just need tremendous competition at the secondary position. We have a lot of guys in our secondary that have played, just not a lot of guys that have dominated and played at a really high level. And so we're pushing those guys right now. And this spring, I mean, we have 3 or 4 scholarship corners at each side. So there's a lot of guys that can play. So it'll come down to competition. It's a philosophy change and really putting some pressure on our defensive line to get some pass rush.
Before we let you run, everyone's exuberant about Notre Dame. You're going to Notre Dame, first game of the season, August 31st. How excited are your players to get ready for that game? Because going to play there, it's just a dream come true for most people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a storied place, and what an unbelievable opportunity to play in that tradition, to play in that environment, to play against a team that accomplished what they accomplished last year. And that's really, I talked about opportunity. I talked about coming to Temple, an opportunity to play football at the highest level. When we walk out on the field that day, it's an opportunity for us to play football at the highest level. But more importantly, it's an opportunity for our team to represent Temple, represent that Temple T by playing the right way, by playing with the right effort, by playing really well, and playing on national television. And that's really what we want ourselves to be. When people see us on campus or when they see us on TV, they have respect for the way we do things and the way we play. And so it's an unbelievable opportunity in my mind to start that way. And when I got the job, I was all fired up to get the job, and I kind of looked at my wife and said, "Now it's time. Now it's time to go win. Now, now the pressure starts, and it starts at a high level, starting with Notre Dame. But our guys will be up for the challenge."
Well, we will be there in Notre Dame. We'll be excited for that game, and I'll tell you this: best of luck for your camp that opens up on Friday. And thank you for coming in and doing a few minutes with us.
Thank you very much,
Matt Rhule, right there, head football coach of the Temple Owls. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back on the other side, we'll do some NCAA tournament with Dick Hoops Weiss, who's one of the best college basketball writers in the country. We'll be back right after this.